Hi, welcome back. So, as we discussed the basics of landscape through your procedural method, now let's start working on the landscape through your texture maps actually. So, let's get started with this. So, first of all, back to selection. I'm going to delete this landscape from the viewport. Go ahead. Now, back to your landscape here. So from the manage tab, instead of creating a new regular method, what we're doing is we start creating your through import your file there. So you import your file. So we already have some height maps, which is there on the desktop. It will be typically a PNG files, which you can load. So you can just load any one of them now. So you can see that it try to start changing this thing. So load any PNG files and make sure it loads a 16-bit PNG image instead of a 8-bit PNG image. That's one thing you need to keep in mind. Once everything is done, so you have your basic resolution there and how much sections you want to do and what is the resolution you want to maintain and quality wise and all, it's just all your basic parameters you need to work on. Once you hit it, so just use an option called import data from the height map there. Just use a word called import. It starts loading this terrain now. It's done. Now you can see this. You can start looking up to your terrain and nicely as we have your direction light in the viewport, you start looking at it. And even after doing that, what you can just do is you can have this kind of modifications there. You can sculpt it smooth. Let's an example, certain area you want to smooth it out. Can you see? We can able to do that sculpting right after the selection there. So whatever we discussed in the last topic, like an example, create a ramp or noise or any erase or flatten, anything else, you can able to do some on top of your existing, with the landscape also. So it is not, so that's pretty much that. Next is, so again, next topic is like, you want to add if you want to add some sort of, materials to it. So landscape material, if you look into it, it generally have a different shaders, attached to your landscape. Like an example, like mud, rock, grass, and something like that. So now, what if in case you want a certain portion should be a rock and certain portion should be a grass and certain portion should be a mud, something like that. So where you have a single material but having a multiple textures actually. So let's see how we'll apply to these things. Now come back to your selection right now. That's good. So once you have done the landscape, that's great. Now come here, right click, and before you start with the materials, from your Pixel, what you request you to do is start downloading some of your maps there. Like a grass map or stand tone map. If you see right now, I have some kind of concrete. We have some grass, we have some rocks, pebbles kind of thing. We have frozen lake and we have planks like this. We have multiple things now. So before you start going to the materials, first request you to download the materials from the pixel actually. So once you do, go back to the landscape, right click here and then create a new material. So start name it as m underscore, which is nothing but material underscore landscape, right? And then activate it. Now, once you do, just double click on top of it. It opens up your thing, dock it to your existing one, and right mouse button to move around and scroll. You can just scroll this way. First thing, what you have to do is you can load your multiple materials from here. Let's an example. Go to the rocks sandstone. So I'm loading this, this bitmap map as well as this two things together into your landscape material. We got 2, 1, and 2. Suppose similar, I'm loading another grass texture, 1, and the normal of 2. Right? And then just align it, texture map, and the bitmap. And let's start loading another, maybe a concrete floor or maybe grass. Yeah, forest grass, something that should be good enough. Material and your bump map together. And perfect. So right now, if you can see, we have three different textures is coming inside to your material node now. Now, these nodes you want to connect it to your one single node. Now, an example, if you see here, we have an RGB to RGB, we have an RGB to normal map, we have only one connection there. But like how to connect these multiple images or multiple textures to a single node. So for this, what we do is we're using a parameter called as make material attributes. Press tab in a keyboard, search for make material attributes. Can you see right now? We have an option called make material. What it does is it converts your one single texture into a single node output. Let's an example you see here. The two nodes are going inside as if it's coming as a one single output now. That's good. Interesting. Now, again, once you do, just copy this one right now. Press Control V in a keyboard. Just drag it. And then say again, connect your RGB to RGB and then here to normal one. Let's do one more time. Paste it. So this time, let me navigate here and bring our two other textures right there. And okay. Now again, I'm connecting RGB to RGB. Suppose unfortunately, when you're connecting it out, it's being connected to a wrong object actually, and then to the normal. See something like this. So one thing is you can hold control and shift it, control and shift it, or alt and click on it, it'll get disconnected actually. So that's up to you, right? So we have this. Now, if you notice now, all these materials have one single output right now in terms of color as well as normal up there. Now, to blend all three together to your one single material, we'll be using one more attribute called press tab again and say layer blend, landscape layer blend, land. Can you see right now there is an option called landscape layer blend? This is an attribute is the must and should. So that what it's doing is blending all your three different textures at its own positions actually as you described. Once you have, can you see right now there it's asking like three different layers is asking for. Start creating a three different layers now. One for map, dot map, grass as well as the stones actually. Start with a new layer. So I have three textures now. I'm loading three different ones. Let's say layer one, layer two, and layer three. So we have index one, index two, and index three. So go ahead to the one of the index right now and just name it. Now let's an example say rocks, right? And then close it. Go to the next one and then say it as grass. And the next one, I'm going to name it as ground. So like this, we have named it. Now notice now in this layer blend node, we have all these things as being come forward. So what you have to do, just connect this to here. That's great. And connect from here to here. Great. And the last connection. That's good. So now that's fine now. But actually, if you notice here, we have a normal map also, we have here color map also. Both are connected now. But what if in case you send everything to one single input? Instead of that, by selecting your material node right now, enable option called use material attributes actually. So hence that also become a one single node for us. Again, you connect this node to your material attributes node. That's it. So use an option called apply and then say save it. That's pretty good. That's it from the materials tab. Now go back to your world here. Now come back to our landscape. Now from this details panel, you can start searching for our material. Can you see right now is asking for landscape material. The material what we created now called m_landscape. That is what is all about that connections and all together, right? So this one is sending to landscape here. That's good. It's been connected. Now you see black. Sorry, don't worry. Come back to your landscape one more time. Come back to the paint method, right? And now you notice here, we have saved three different materials, right? All the three materials will be visible right over there. You can see in the form of rocks, in the form of grass, in the form of grain. What we need to do, we need to start saving this weight maps actually. So can you see there's a small plus symbol right over there? Click on it and say weight blended normally. Click on it. And I'm just saving under here only. Save it. Do it one more time. Let's say save it one more time. And then save it one more time. So now you see the texture is already loaded on your top of it. Pick the second texture, whatever you want. Increase your brush size and start painting it. Closer. You can see we started painting the grass texture on top of it. Similar, go to the rocks. Again, so this one. It's all good. Yeah, it's painting actually. You can see right now. So like this, you can pick any one of your material there and you can keep adding your materials to your existing landscape. Right? So you can see nicely this textures are now maybe in case you want to add some tile, we'll cover that in the next coming session. So for right now, for this one, just we started with the landscape with the height maps, and then we started creating materials. And from the pixel, we downloaded some of the textures and we commented it out. Right? So that's it for this session right now. Thanks for watching.